When it comes to growing zones, we've seen a lot of misinformation and misconceptions out there. And so in today's episode, we are dispelling all the myths around growing zones. Let's go. One of the largest misconceptions I see about growing zones out in the gardening community has to do with what even is a growing zone and what does the growing zone indicate. When it comes to growing zones, it only applies to perennials. It has no bearing on when you should start seeds, what seeds you can grow, what seeds you can't grow. It only pertains to the survivability of a certain crop and the average lowest temperature that that crop can experience during winter over a 10-year rolling cycle. So that means that when you're starting seeds, it could be a pepper, it could be a tomato, it could be lettuce, kale, broccoli, cabbage, any crop that's considered an annual. Those are crops you'd grow, you'd start maybe right now or start in a couple months. Move them outside into your garden. You'd harvest them throughout spring into summer, maybe even fall. But at some point during the main growing season, it will either die or you'll pull it out and it'll be done. Those are annuals. They don't survive winter. They're not intended to be grown for multiple years. They're grown per year. And those crops have no bearing on what growing zone you're in. They also have no bearing on when you should be starting those seeds. I see so often gardeners will say, when should I start my seeds in zone 5? The two don't mean anything. The thing you're really trying to find out is, when is your last frost date? That's the actual information you're looking for. But your average coldest temperature has nothing to do with when your last frost date is. It might be kind of loosely correlated. Like you might say, okay, someone that lives in a colder climate has a later last frost date. That might be true, absolutely. But I can point out many cases in which that's not the case. There are many places in which it gets very, very cold, but it warms up really fast. Prime example, high desert Arizona. High desert Arizona might be like zone 4 or zone 5. But come March or April, it's already 75, 80 degrees. When here in Michigan, we're in zone 6. We're a whole zone different than high desert Arizona, but when in reality we can't grow something like a tomato outside until early May, and they've been growing tomatoes outside for a month or two. It has absolutely no bearing whatsoever on when you should be starting your crops and what crops you can grow. Now, there's a little asterisk there. It has no bearing on what crops you can grow unless they're a perennial, and that's really the fact of the matter. Growing zones only has to do with perennials because perennials need to survive winter, and if they don't survive winter, they're going to die. And usually the thing that kills them off is the cold weather, and that's what the growing zones were intended for. Regardless of what type of perennial you're growing, it will have a coldest temperature that will kill it off, and that will be associated with a growing zone. And that's all you really need to know to make those two connections. That leads me to the next biggest misconception that I see around growing zones. And that is gardeners saying, you can't grow that perennial in that growing zone. And when in reality, you can grow any crop you want in any growing zone. Now, obviously, I do want to point out that the purpose of growing a crop that can grow and survive in that growing zone is to get it to survive. But a prime example of that would be a crop like this artichoke here. Now this artichoke, it's long dead. It will not survive the winter. It is what's known as a tender perennial. That means that in certain growing zones, it can survive. But the survivability range of this artichoke is around zone 7, and being in zone 6A, we have a whole zone and a half difference between the two. And the coldest temperature that we get, like we just had a -3 degree day, and that's not even including wind chill, it's -3 degrees. That absolutely will kill this artichoke 10 times out of 10. Just won't survive. Crop like rosemary. Okay, we grow rosemary. We have rosemary over there. It will sometimes survive weather that 6A can throw at it, but it's more like a 6B to a 7 as well. It's like what makes it a perennial. But does that mean we can't grow it? No. We were actually able to grow and harvest artichokes no problem at all. We just grew them and harvested them within the same growing season. And many gardeners will simply say, well, don't grow artichokes, you can't grow them in your zone. We got a harvest. We harvested 6 beautiful artichokes from this plant here, and by the looks of things, we could have harvested a lot more. We just left them for the bees. But we could have harvested probably another 7 or 8 artichokes in a single growing season. We didn't need them to overwinter. Yeah, it'd been nice, but we could still grow it. And so don't let anyone tell you you can't grow something. Also, there's a second point that I want to talk about with it, which is another misconception around crops that you shouldn't grow in a growing zone. And that next misconception comes from the gardeners that say, well, you can't possibly grow this crop because it'll die over the course of winter, but they discount the fact that you can bring it inside. Crops like this citrus here, we're growing lemons and limes that are doing exceptionally well. I mean, they're flowering, they're loving life. They didn't love the cold weather that they experienced out in the greenhouse before we brought them in, but they're doing great. They're bouncing back and they're thriving in here, and we can bring them inside. Other crops that fall into this category could be cacti, right? You can grow dragon fruit, beautiful dragon fruit. We had some dragon fruit around here at the office, but we must have moved it. But we had some dragon fruit growing in here. We had a coffee tree for a long time. We've had banana trees. And yes, absolutely, they need growing zones that are like 10, 11, 12, and even 13. They need tropical environments or even subtropical environments. And a lot of gardeners will say, well, that's not going to grow in your growing zone. Absolutely. We know that you can't grow them outside year round, but you can grow them inside and then take them outside when it gets warm. That's known as a transitional plant, and you can absolutely grow those things just fine if you account for that. And so I just want to make that known as well, that there are crops that people will say you can't grow, that in reality, you can grow them, it just takes a little more effort. And that's a really big misconception I see. And then the final thing that I wanted to make note about this misconception is that when you see gardeners that will say, well, you can't grow something like a fig. Figs do like warmer weather, absolutely. They'll say you can't grow almonds. They'll say you can't grow, it could be really anything. There are quite a few crops that have cold hardy variants. And those cold hardy variants allow you to grow in colder weather. For instance, prime example is the cold hardy pomegranate or the cold hardy fig. You have a Chicago cold hardy fig, which can tolerate zone 5, no problem. We've grown it for years. But any other fig variety would die. You have the cold hardy pomegranate, the Russian pomegranate. That can tolerate zone 5, zone 6, no problem. But any other variety of pomegranate would die, anything out of probably zone 8. And then finally, you have the cold hardy almond or the cold hardy avocado. Almonds and avocados grow in very warm climates, but they have cold hardy ones that can tolerate colder weather. And so those ones you can grow. And so it really comes down to the final misconception, which is understanding that not every variety in a subset is going to follow the same rule. You have outliers that may be more cold hardy and allow you to grow them. And so it's finding those varieties. It's doing your research to understand that it's not a set rule for every crop. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. I hope you all will start to apply growing zones correctly, because it is something that can really help you as a gardener. But it also is something that I think stifles a lot of gardeners. It causes a lot of gardeners to stop growing certain crops or to be fearful of growing certain crops, when in reality, it just has to do with, and I want to repeat this, the average coldest temperature. It could be 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. You get one day that goes down to -5. That's all it takes, because that's the average coldest temperature that you're going to get. It doesn't matter if it was for one day or a solid week. If it was 5 degrees and dips down to -10 at one point, and it does that on several different years, enough for them to track that, that is what sets your growing zone. That's the only thing. It's just the average coldest temperature. And so all of the other things, there are things that you can take into consideration, but many things do not apply to your garden. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. As always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.